The remainder of the week could be a little bit rocky, and we saw signs of exhaustion today as we're consolidating into resistance. We'll talk about it in a game plan for Thursday, November 13th and November 14th. Hopefully you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Today's the birthday, so if you want to wish me a happy birthday down below. If you've enjoyed the content thus far, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. All right, so we'll talk about some offers that are available for Black Friday, also birthday offers that you can join the community or one-on-one coaching, or we have a special 2-day live event virtual that is coming up next week that you don't want to miss. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into the charts and the information on the remainder of the week and how you can make some money. All right, so the first thing, let's jump onto the SPY and see the price action for today and what I was talking about going into today. All right, so yesterday, I was talking on the video about this 686 resistance level. Now, why is that so important is because that is 6,900 on the ES futures. Okay, that is the S&P futures. Very highly important to understand that this is a nice psychological round number on the ES futures, which associates right with 686 on SPY. Okay, so that's why you saw a little bit of a trap or some profit taking into that level. Now, what I'm expecting ideally for probably tomorrow or into Friday, depending on if we break this key level, is some more pullback selling. All right. So what you could see tomorrow, my expectation is you already see this kind of pre-market downside. And this is the first time we kind of see a little bit of a lower high close here versus a very strong close. If you've never seen the charts before, the black area is where the market is open for the New York session for options trading. And the light gray area is going to be the after hours or the pre-market session. So you see here how strong we closed and we continued up through the after hours. Do you see today that we had some profit taking and we never reclaimed back above the highs to create a new high? So now we've got an area that we can kind of trust a little bit as where sellers are present. Okay, you can also see in the after hours in the future session that we are dropping here as well, as this is looking more like a bearish flag into close. Okay, so we had a flagpole, there's the bear flag. Okay, and then we continued after hours. What I'm expecting tomorrow, ideally, is this is pending data, pending any news, anything that comes out, right? Is that we try to pump back up to the highs one more time to 683, and then maybe we see a little bit of this. Okay, that's kind of my expectations, and I'll show you what that maybe looks like, what happened to Google today, which was a top trade that I was looking for, and it just absolutely dumped off open. Okay, do you see this rising wedge kind of channel right here that goes up into heavy resistance? Okay, so that is what I'm looking kind of on SPY for, is it to kind of show a top and not to dump, not to crash, but just that kind of panic pullback day that we get to fill the gap ideally to the downside. Okay, now I'm always prepared for the other side, but been trading long enough and kind of been reading the price action the last couple of days, and it's showing me that this grind up is right into a liquidity grab, right, where sellers are to take profit for buyers and for sellers to step back in, kind of like what Google did. Okay, so if we go back on SPY, we can kind of see roughly the same thing. All right, see this grind higher in this channel. Okay, and ideally tomorrow, if we break underneath that 680, it's going to get very fast, very quickly. Okay, down into most likely this 675, and potentially if buyers step out of the way, we could come all the way back down into 672. All right, so that's kind of my game plan ideally for tomorrow, is either number one, wait for that 680 to break and then wait for the retest and see it holding underneath and go, or I'm very willing to let it pop into here, a little weak pop in the morning, see it roll over, and then get an early entry, light size, and then wait for that break of 680. Okay, so that's ideally what I would like to see. Okay, what I really don't want to see, okay, for options trading more specifically, is this to start falling in the after hours overnight and the futures market just takes it down like this. Okay, that's really what I don't want to see for the options trading side, because the trade is kind of gone and I'll have to wait for a pop in the morning for options. But if it can stay up in this 683 area as close as possible to that 685, I really like the downside move on SPY tomorrow. Okay. Qs. Okay. Qs have been pressing on this low here of 618. And you can see what it's doing after hours. It's got a gap below, right? If you see Qs underneath 617, we've got a gap down to 613 and ultimately probably 610 down here. So it would look something like this. All right. So that's what we're looking for. Now, I'll explain in a second for my bulls. Brian, do you believe it's crashing and coming all the way down? Not just yet. Okay. Not just yet, because there is an opportunity for this to set another higher low and then rotate right back to the upside potentially. Okay. Depending on where we find a bottom. All right. So this is the kind of A+ game plan that I'm seeing, and it can change ideally in the morning based on where SPY, QQQ, and even IWM are. Okay. IWM, I still love it because it is rejecting that daily 20 pretty regularly right now. Okay. Kind of see that daily 20 moving average right there, that light blue line. Underneath that signifies a little bit more weakness. Underneath the daily 50, which is 243, we're going down most likely into 240. And in my opinion, if the market gets a little bit more aggressive selling, we can come down into this 238 level. All right. So you got 240 and then 238 on IWM. So really nice trade on IWM because you know where a clear resistance level is right there. And if it pops up into it, can add a little bit more stop loss above 246. All right. The SMH, the semiconductor sector. Okay. We still have a little bit more weakness. It's looking like association, obviously, with QQQ, with many of the semiconductors, semis to the tech sector, still kind of rotating down on this lower high situation. Okay. But it gets a little bit interesting and messy in this zone because you see we bounced right there at 350. So we've really got to get below 350 on the SMH to really see semiconductors flush a little bit more. Okay. So be careful on the semiconductors, and one semiconductor that was extremely strong today, which was AMD. It had its financial investor day. We did short AMD just because I saw a major gap on AMD. Now it seems crazy for some, but it's one of my strategies to short overextended stocks. If they have positive news, there's probably going to be profit taking. If I see resistance, and take that down. Now I didn't expect AMD to rotate right off this bottom 250 and go. I was looking for a pullback kind of into this 245 level, and it just didn't do it, right? So it didn't get continuation, but I am still looking for, if the market gets a little bit weaker, obviously be careful on AMD. It's one of the stronger stocks right now because of all that positive news. So do I believe AMD is, bearish or anything like that? No, not necessarily. I trade risk to reward. And if I see a gap down here like that, I'm looking for a break of lows underneath 253 to take it down into the partial end of the gap. Or if I can get a nice risk to reward trade where I know my stop loss is above these highs, in above maybe 265, I can maybe top ticket there, right? If I see price action reacting, lower high, something like that, rolling over. All right. But AMD right now, a little bit on the stronger side, as it was up roughly 9% on the day. Okay. Palantir still rolling over here, trying to finish this gap. And then NVDA, which is everyone's quote unquote concern. If you were a NVIDIA bull, okay, which most people are, ideally, a lot of folks are trying to catch this bottom and keep picking up this dip right here, which I understand, right? Why is that holding so, aggressively? And there's a gap right below, Brian. It's because that's where the daily 20 is. Okay. So it's holding up 191, 192. But please be mindful that as long as it's below this 194, 195 level, right, it can ultimately do something like this. Okay. So it can fill that gap if the market gets weak and come all the way back down into that 185 and 187 level. Okay. So this zone right here. So that's where bulls, ideally you would want to, be picking up a little bit more confidently, is this daily 50 right here, retesting that daily 50 and then holding strong. So if you can get a flush of the market, that is ideal going into NVIDIA's earnings to rotate it right back up, in my opinion. Okay, in my opinion. So be careful on NVIDIA. Still got a little bit of pressure on it right now. it needs to break back above 196 for upside push back into 200, or you find a break underneath 191, and then you'll see a push most likely just kind of fading slowly through this gap back into 187 and then 185. All right. So NVIDIA kind of in a no trade zone situation here. I thought it was good scalping it down, but it's not really getting continuation, even though we have gaps in between. So it's kind of trying to decide which way the market is rolling right now. So NVIDIA, you can see after hours, it is at 192.34. So be mindful of that in the morning. All right. Now, one of my top trade ideas that I like still for day trading is still this Google idea. Okay. Google has been extremely strong, obviously, but it's showing me some heavy sellers or profit taking up in this zone at 290 to 291. Okay. And today you can kind of see how aggressive that move was off of this channel break. This is what we call a rising wedge. It broke down, never recovered up to the top. And now, right, we've got another potential bear flag up against that 288. What happened last time? We got at 288, went down to 280, then ultimately went back down to 275. So the market does get weak. I know Google's one of the strongest stocks, but I do like kind of this situation that's happening up here. And if we can get that, that would be beautiful, right? Targeting down into 280 and potentially 275 if we get flushed. I personally believe that if the market pulls back deeper, Google can come back to this 270 level. All right. That's just my opinion based off of technicals, price action, structure, what's going on here. All right. So I need to see what it looks like going into tomorrow. It's underneath 286 right now. So it's already kind of forming this little bear flag, breaks the lows at 283. You've got nothing but room down into 277, 280, in my opinion, back down to these lows. That's where the next buyer zone is. If I turn on volume profile here, okay, you can see there's a high volume node right there. Okay, on a 30-minute, if I go into an hourly, you can see the same thing. It's really nothing but room down into this 275 level. So breaks that, there's really nothing. There's nothing. So high watch on Google for potential downside continuation off of this double top failure, break underneath 283. All right, ideally. Cool. All right, a couple more and then I'll get you out of here. MU, yeah, just kind of sitting here, but I did mark this out and it happened after hours. It's just this big gap fill opportunity. And now it's kind of forming a little bit of a potential, either it retraces and semiconductors get strong, or as long as it's below this 250 area, it could potentially continue lower, in my opinion. Right? In my opinion. All right. One last one that I liked on the weak side, and we'll reassess. I'll do another video if we flush that. What should you pick up before, the end of potentially November? I do believe that we need to pull back one more time. We don't have to, but if SPY, QQQ can flush out one more time, pull back one more time, IWM pull back one more time, I think that's a great setup where we stop to rotate back to the highs. And that would be where, you can get your dip buy into that Santa rally. So we'll talk about that in the coming weeks. All right. Cool. Oracle is heavily weak. All right. Oracle is heavily weak here. You can see that it is broken underneath the daily 20, daily 50. And when it gets underneath those three moving averages there, typically it tries to go to the next moving average, right? That is typically what happens. When it gets under the daily 20, there's that death cross right there, daily 100. It just continues down. So your target potentially is down in this 210 area for Oracle. So if the market gets weak, Oracle is a great opportunity to, continue this downtrend, right? Continue this downtrend on Oracle down into 210. You do have some little bit of gap fill down into this 220 area, and then 218 is where it stopped last time. So might want to just be mindful of that. So got a little bit of gap. Let's see where it is. See if it'll pop up here. Yeah, kind of right there. All right, so from 226 down into 220. So that'll be your next target on Oracle is 220. And then if we get a flush of the market or Oracle just flushes, I believe we'll get something like this. Okay. So watch out for Oracle to the downside a little bit more. Continuation down into 220 first and then 210. So Oracle is a great opportunity for continuation weakness to the downside, in my opinion. Now, Brian, why are you talking about the downside and not the upside? Is because SPY, QQQ, in my opinion, have made their gap up moves for the time being, right? For the time being, in my opinion, we just went from 661 to almost 691, right? So $30 move. If I do a Fibonacci retracement here from the lows, right, the move back is to 675, 673, and then 670 would give us our full gap fill down. So it looks something like this. Okay. So we talked about this for the little move today that happened, right? And then we continued higher in this channel. But when does the big break happen? Underneath 680. Underneath 680, which is already kind of getting a little bit weak after hours. Underneath 680, I believe we can kind of flush down into these levels here, 675, 673, and then 670 would be your final target. And then bulls ideally holding up that level, and then we rotate right back up. All right. Let me show you final thing here, what that looked like on a different day, which would be right here. Okay. So look at this. Do you see this move here where we found a low at 657 on the 16th of October? And then we bounced tremendously, gapped up into, at that time, resistance right there, and then started to get a little bit of sideways motion. Then we rotate, and then there's the gap. And where does it go? Rotates right through that gap, right? So that was from 672 all the way back to 662. So it's about a 10-point move on SPY in one day. All right. So what do you think I'm looking for here from 683 back to 673? It is possible. Okay. So that is ideally what I'm looking at for potentially the idea for tomorrow. Please be mindful of letting levels break. Let it flow out. If you see volume, please do not try to chase the falling knife. Wait for your bottom if you're bulls. I'd be very careful up into this area at 686. So if you see it rotating higher, just be careful that it could be another trap, in my opinion. All right. I'm not really interested in the upside unless we get some kind of true blast through like that. Right. That I'm not really interested in that unless we get some news and it blasts through that 687, in my opinion, and then turn this into a support. Okay. All righty. Well, until next time, thank y'all so much. If you want to join our 2-day live event, okay, the link is down below in the comments. It's hosted on the 17th and 18th of November. So you want to go ahead and get it in. That is Monday and Tuesday of next week. I'll mention it again on Stock Sermon Sunday, this Sunday, but go ahead and get it in. If you want to wish me a happy birthday down below, we got some birthday money today. If you want to make money with me, live trading in our community, you're more than welcome to join. All right. Here is what it will include. Okay. Watch live as we break down markets. Day one is options mastery. So this is beginner friendly. So if you're a person that's wondering how, ask any questions, live masterclass for about 90 minutes. Day two would be futures focused. Okay. So if you're wanting to learn about futures markets a little bit more, day two, that is going to be on the 18th and 90 minutes as well. Okay. So we'd love to have you inside. If you need a masterclass to get started on long-term investing, stock market, charts, all those things, we'd love to have you there. Until next time, thank y'all so much. Peace, love, and blessings. Trade safe out there.